rise and shine. Coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java with a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Headlines spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning whiz is always best. Time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. And man, oh man, this has been crazy. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh, the day is just starting. And of course, it's always funky whenever it starts. It's in the mornings like this. Are we ready to stop changing our clocks? I don't know. You tell me. As we brace ourselves for another hour of lost sleep tonight, it's hard not to reflect on the absurdity of our biannual clock changing ritual. Well, President Donald Trump has made his stance on daylight saving time known. He calls it inconvenient and very costly to our nation. And since he's been very effective at getting things done, our clock switching days may be closer than ever to being over. They say this every 4 years. It never happens. Let's face it, we're trapped in an outdated system that serves no real purpose anymore except for driving us nuts. We spend 8 months on DST and 4 months on standard time, and no one really looks forward to the adjustment either way. The Wall Street Journal research has confirmed that what many of us already suspected and knew, there's no significant energy savings from this clock switching chaos. So much for that justification. Remember when they told us this was about saving energy? Well, the reality is modern businesses don't change their hours of operation to match the time change. We're perfectly capable of functioning in the light and the dark. Weird how that works. This time change putting hurting on me. You and me both. Of course, the solution to the time change isn't easy to resolve. Heck, I have a complicated relationship with daylight savings and standard time. Sure, that extra hour of sleep when we switch to standard time feels great, but the trade-off, those soul-crushing winter evenings when darkness descends the second you finish lunch. When I used to have an office job, nothing was more depressing than leaving the office at 5 in the evening in total darkness. So what do Americans want? Well, in 2019, of course, the poll found that 40% preferred year-round standard time, 31% daylight savings time, 28% wanted to keep switching. Monmouth poll from 22 found that 44 preferred DST, 13 standard, 35 opted to maintain the time changes. In 23, YouGov found that 31 wanted permanent DST, 19 supported standard, 21 favored status quo. Well, there's 20 more polls, but I'll give you just a really good spoiler alert here. There's no clear consensus on whether daylight savings time or standard time is preferred, but a strong majority dislikes twice yearly clock changes. What we have is a bunch of polls with inconsistent results, meaning that the issue is likely divided three ways, with equal shares of the population wanting permanent DST, wanting standard time, and wanting to keep things the way they are. Therefore, we find ourselves in a situation here. No matter what happens, a lot of people will be unhappy, but that doesn't mean change won't happen. Frankly, on Trump's winning streak lately, I just take on this DST might just be the push we need to finally end the switch, but without a definitive public preference for the issue, it's probably too divisive for any real change to happen. Well, as for me, though, I love that extra hour of daylight. I find myself more interested in just not having to switch clocks at all and would be fine with either being permanent. So we'll see what happens. Until then, enjoy your abridged sleep, and we'll see if this gets a solution before November. Mm. Good morning. Good morning. Much love. Thank you, Allie. I appreciate it. Lulu, how you doing? Nanny Goat, Yoda's mom, Sherry, Lindsay, and everyone else that I may have missed. Mary Smith. Oh, good morning. Good morning. It is going to be a beautiful day. You know that it is, because it's good news, America. Tim Walz is here to save the day. Well, that was one hell of a ride. 1 minute they were toiling away in near total obscurity, just another glib, plain talking white dude with a pleasant sense of humor and some funny catchphrases. But then, out of the blue, they were thrust into the public eye, and suddenly they were famous worldwide. Everyone wants to interview them. For a brief flicker in time, they ranked among the most well-known people on the planet. But now it's all over. The world's moved on and forgotten about them. Now, speaking, of course, about the Hawk Tuah girl. Remember her? But you know what? That Tim Walz guy had a hell of a ride, too. Yesterday, that rascally governor of the People's Republic of Minnesota broke his post-election silence and interviewed with Political. He dished out about camel toe, Donald Trump, and the future of Democrat Party. And he made it clear to Dems he's ready to be their leader. Right. Weirdly, the Democrat base hasn't lined up in droves behind America's coach. You're not hearing a lot of liberals pounding the war drums for a Walz presidential run, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have a path to the nomination. The Democrat Party bosses are surprisingly pragmatic and risk adverse. You could certainly see the scenario similar to 2020 when no Democrat candidate stood out. The base was divided and everyone coalesced around the older white guy as the least acceptable option. Well, Tim Walz is nobody's Prince Charming, but maybe he can be their Prince Acceptable. Still, he has this work cut out for him. The lasting memory most liberals have of him is getting smashed on the debate stage by J.D. Vance. That poor performance, plus the stench of electoral defeat, isn't exactly exciting the base. But the upside of being the second banana is that you can reflect culpability. Everyone knows who was on the top of the ticket. Hey, I had to be a team player, but just between you and me, I would have done it differently and made all the right decisions too. And the article begins. Tim Walz thinks that he and Camel Toe Harris played it too safe last year. He thinks they should have held more town halls. He thinks they didn't have time to get their feet under them. And he thinks Democrats should have taken more risk and gone more places. Well, Walz has two primary audiences, the liberal base of young activists and wealthy older liberal donors. He can't go anywhere in 2028 without their strong support. And even though those two groups differ wildly on the host of issues, including Israel, they almost always agree with this. When Democrats lose, it's the messenger's fault and not the message. That's what Walz is selling. I'm the right messenger for the age of MAGA. Walz said campaign risk-averse approach was a byproduct of the brief 107-day campaign because these are things you might have been able to get your sea legs, if you will, 18 months out where the stakes were a lot lower. But he said after you lose, you have to go back and assess where everything was at. And I think that in this one area we should think about. In his assessment, I think probably should have just rolled the dice and done the town halls where voters may say you're full of shit and I don't believe you, Walz continued. I think there could have been more of that. We as a party are more cautious engaging the media. Yeah, right. Both mainstream and non-traditional, Walz said during the 2024 campaign. He said in football parlance, we were in a prevent defense not to lose when we never had anything to lose because we don't think we were ever ahead. Hey, J-Hip, how you doing this morning? Good to see you. Good to see you. First of all, Walsh used a football metaphor accurately and correctly, so let's give him credit. The kid is learning, but what he really claiming is that his own brand of homespun Midwest charm is precisely what Dems need to win over hostile crowds. That is pitch to donors and activists is what that is. It also not a so subtle reminder that their bubble wrap 2024 campaign was orchestrated by camel toes keepers. I would have done more with the town halls if they would only let me. Walz's assessment of the campaign missteps, which he emphasized he wholly owns his part on, because you're on the ticket and you don't win, that's your responsibility, was also once shared privately in interviews. Now, if you want more of this kind of BS, you too can find this over here on the VIP page. Because Waltz is an idiot. It ain't gonna happen. But what is happening? Good morning. I'm just doing good, Shizzy, but my bubble gum is losing its flavor. Yeah, I know the feeling. I know the feeling. I do know that feeling. Trust me on that one. You need more bubble gum. What is happening in Syria is just what Obama and Biden wanted. The news out of Syria is nothing short of horrific. It provides a full, fresh illustration of what a catastrophic failure of the Obama strategy in the Middle East has been. Greek City Times reported that hundreds of Christians, including Greek Orthodox and Alawites, have been killed after clashes broke out on Thursday in the Latakia. I'm going to get these names wrong because I suck at some of these foreign names. Regions in Syria's Mediterranean coast, according to Human Rights Monitor Group. That toll may be a tragic underestimation. Greek City Times added that the Syrian Network for Human Rights, SNHR, said that Friday more than 225 people have been deleted since Thursday. However, this is believed to be a gross underreporting, with activists on the ground such as Coast Youth Forum believing the death toll could be as high as 1,800. Mostly all whites, but also some Christians. The perpetrators are members of the Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, the Islamic Jihad group that toppled the Assad regime and took control of Syria several months ago. But the groundwork for what is happening in Syria was laid years ago, and this was a direct result of the policies of Barack Obama and old Joe, the guy known as Obama's third term, pursued, according to a revealed April 2022 piece in Real Clear Investigations. Obama, Apriard Chicks, who had returned to the position of the Biden regime, coordinated with jihadist franchise in an effort to topple the Syrian regime, while claiming they backed only the moderate opposition. The article noted that in a waging multi-billion-dollar covert war in support of the insurgency against Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, top Obama officials now serve under Biden made it an American policy to enable armed terrorist groups that attracted jihadi fighters from across the globe. This regime-changed campaign, undertaken 1 decade after al-Qaeda attacked the U.S. on 9/11, helped to sworn U.S. enemy establish the... I'm going to get these names all wrong. These names are horrible. Syria bad. There it is. Syria bad. Bad stuff has been happening in Syria. We need to stop these damn wars. Stop having wars. Stop fighting with each other. It's no fun. No fun. Bad stuff. 50 in Louisiana. You're outside freezing. That sounds about right. That's cold. That is cold out there. You need some more warm air. When you're 16, you laid out in a bikini, and 40, you got a heated blanket, 3 layers of clothes. Yoda's mom. Damn girl. You laying out in a bikini? Well, just think, a phallus-free environment. Based Russian spa versus the alphabet mob. I love how you guys just lead the story right in there for me. This is wonderful. Love you guys. Aside from the obviously correct morality of the stand it took, let's take for a moment to commend the traditional Russian Archimedes spa for having the balls, as it were, to take on the alphabet mafia in its own backyard of San Francisco. Back on February 2nd, San Francisco's traditional Russian spa, Archimedes Banya, issued the following decree in defense of the women who frequented their businesses and didn't want testicles dangling in their faces while trying to relax. Archimedes Banya designated one day a month as Ladies' Women's Day to shelter religious preferences of women in our community. To further accommodate their religious beliefs, we have to limit admission on Women's Day to biological women only. Archimedes Banya designated one day a month as Men's Day to shelter religious preferences of men in our community. To further accommodate their religious beliefs, we have to limit admission on Men's Day to biological men only. All are welcome during our normal business hours. Well, under immense pressure, having had its Yelp page deluged with negative reviews and surely threatened behind the scenes by local government officials, this San Francisco, we're talking about the spa amended biological women only policy to create a separate women's nights. The first would be an inclusive women's night for whatever walks on two legs and calls itself a lady, while the second would be a cultural and religious women's night reserved for legacy women. From the spa's March 3rd press release, to honor both our commitment and inclusivity, the needs of the religious and cultural communities who require gender-segregated spaces, we are introducing two distinct women's night. Inclusive women's night, open to all individuals who identify as a woman, regardless of sex assigned at birth or gender expression. This night is designed to be a welcoming and affirming space for all women in our community. Cultural and religious women's night is designed to provide a space that aligns with the needs of women from religious or cultural backgrounds who observe practices requiring the female-only environment based on sex assigned at birth. The spa's manager, Abishk Viad, I'm going to get this wrong, explained the impetus behind the fostering of the phallus-free environment on its cultural and religious women's night. In an email to the Standard General Manager, said the latter came out of a desire to respect the religious and cultural beliefs of women who need a phallus-free environment. We need to help religious women and try to navigate an important conversation about inclusivity, respect, and safety. He wrote, "We recognize that our words did not fully reflect our values, and for that we are truly sorry." Was this explanation and highly generous compromise amenable to the transgender mob? Surely not. The entire exercise in the first place was a service of maintaining their sacred right to wave their phalluses in the face of legacy women with impunity. This is a religious right to them, and they had been robbed of it by the transphobes at Archimedes Banya. The social justice people, once the hate crime and gained social media traction, they did what they do best. They assembled a very sad protest, about a dozen people, that the local news media felt compelled to cover lest they be implicated in hate crime. And I'm not quite sure why there are in trans women and biological women is in quotations mark as if to imply that they don't exist. And I'm almost certain that transgender activists holding the sign doesn't know either. Let's see what they had to say.
A boycott against a bathhouse in San Francisco that protesters say has policies that exclude transgender people. Our Kelsey Thorne spoke with some of the protesters who insist it's a sign of a troubling trend in the country.
A group of transgender rights advocates are calling for a boycott of a San Francisco spa they say is enacting anti-trans exclusionary policies.
It's exclusion, it's discrimination.
Shut up, dude.
It goes against everything that I came here for.
His breath. Where is the breath Mormer? What? The name is Breath Mormer. Mormer, breath. Oh my God. How much you want to bet the breath smells like rank? Breath Mormer.
It goes against everything that I came here for.
Breath Mormer says she was told she would not be.
That's not a she. Stop it. You're killing me. Because you're a dude. Do you ever think that some women don't want to have a dongle hanging in front of their face whenever they go to a spa? Do you think maybe that happens? Just saying.
Be allowed to participate in a ladies' night at Archimedes Banya unless she remained clothed at all times.
That's because you got to be a lady to be invited to the ladies' night. Speedos. Exactly. I'm telling you, it's crazy. You telling me that I can't walk around with my dongle hanging out? No, put it away. Nobody wants to see that. The ladies don't want to see that. They don't want to see your little wing.
Inside the clothing optional spa.
I came from Alabama specifically to escape that type of prejudice.
I came from Alabama, especially to escape them kind of prejudices. You even changed your name to Breath. This is even a story. Oh my God. Oh, sorry.
And hate. I got here and I found out this city has just as much of it.
The Russian bath.
I'm trying not to laugh. Lady doesn't mean trans, it means ladies. Exactly. I don't have to submit to your psychopathy. Just saying. All right. I'm trying to get over this here. Now this is an image that I just can't forget. Yeah, if a JJ's only allowed, aren't the trans men picketing and making asses themselves? Well, I'm just wondering here. Imagine you've got a blind trans person. So how do they see themselves as a woman? I'm curious about this because you got this black guy here with the eye-seeing cane, so can't see. So how can you tell that if you look at me, I look like a woman? Nobody can tell. You can't even tell what you look like. I don't know. I'm confused. They're making dicks of themselves. It's so right. They're making dicks of themselves. Oh, notice it's only the penis danglers who want into women's spaces. I did notice that. It is so odd to me. I have been reminiscent of trying to figure out why is it that it is only the peens that want to be seen. Well, unless you're like in one of these foreign countries. So, the other day, it might have been an old one, but there was these women out there doing like these little Yahtzee salutes, and they're all topless, and it's just picturing. I'm like, oh, they're taking pictures of boobs. That's all. They don't care what they have to say. They're like, cool, free boobs. Ah. It's hilarious.
House offers one women's only night and one men's only night each month. On their website, they say the nights are to, quote, shelter religious preferences of women and men in their community. Therefore, they limit participation to sex assigned at birth.
It kind of set off some alarm bells for me because in a lot of Slavic culture,
I can't tell where the mask meets the neck there. I mean, I understand, dude, that you have a problem like you look really sweaty and smelly. I'm just saying, you just look sweaty, smelly. Just imagine though. So I'm wondering, are these guys security guards back here, or do they think that they're not gay if they're sleeping with men? I'm just curious. I wonder if those are security guards. I mean, they got their hands in their pockets and sort of have that San Francisco look about them. Free trans people. Yeah, that's what it is. Exactly. Glad you noticed that too. That was the second thing I was going to point out.
like
The second thing I was going to point out. It's like, they're saying free trans people, which means you can get free trans people because nobody else wants them. They're on sale today for the low price of free. Good morning, Connie Carlson. Good morning. Hold on just a second. I'm gonna mute here. Free trans people. Yes. That was the second. Oh God. I mean, I don't know if I would they hate females. Oh, they do. With the worst passion. They hate females and are anti-gay. Have to catch the rest on replay. Damn. You're a poet and you didn't know it. Damn. Way to go, Mel. Good to see you, girl. Hope you're doing well this morning on this beautiful Wednesday morning where we do, or is it Wednesday? Man, I'm so lost. It's been just a hellfire of a day today. I feel like it's still Wednesday. The weekend never happened. Long weekend. Well, if they're free, can you well just no dumping them into the water. Thank you, Mel. I appreciate the $5 super chat. You'll catch the rest on replay. It's only Monday. No, don't tell me. Next you're gonna be telling me we had some sort of time change or some shit like that. Jeez. Time shift. Need more coffee, damn it. Well, let's get through the other minute and a half of these psychos here.
Like pre-Christian Slavic cultures, there was a lot of gender and sexuality was.
Wait, pre-Christian Slavic cultures. I'm trying to imagine. So pre-Slavic Christian cultures, pre-Christian Slavic cultures. Now, do you think they went around chopping each other's junk off and saying, I'm a woman? I don't know. I'm very confused.
Much more fluid than, and it was put down by the Christians. But even with
is this Chris Chan? I'm telling you, this is Chris Chan. This has got to be Chris Chan just wearing a mask. Say what?
Without all that, there are a lot of Catholic, Orthodox, Jewish, and Muslim people who are trans allies, if not trans themselves.
What? Here's an idea. All of you trans folks out there, if you really believe that Islamic culture are pro-trans and trans allies, there's this wonderful place over in the Middle East that you're welcome to go visit and see how welcoming they are to you. Just saying. Alexander the Great liked his eunuchs. A little different. Just saying. No, they're welcome to take that wonderful trip to the Holy Land. See how many of them come back as men. Go visit the Holy Land. You will come back as a man.
Jordan says she herself is of Slavic origin. To try and reach a compromise, the spa put out a statement saying they will offer one inclusive women's only night where trans women will be welcome and another cultural and religious.
No, you're kidding. Putting trans in front of a word, man. Listen, AM was only AM until they put trans in front of it. Then it became Trans Am. Okay, just so you know, Levy. And I don't fear trans at all. No fear there. Yeah, they got their wobblers cut off.
Religious Women's Night, where only those assigned female at birth will be allowed in. Jordan says that's no compromise at all.
That response is really discriminatory when you think about it, because if you had
it's really discriminatory, because if you had dongle and balls, that means that you're a dude. That's not discriminatory. Just saying. It doesn't change your DNA. Oh, of course, I'm sure they're working on that.
Night where you excluded, say, a certain race, that would not fly, and we're just saying that it won't.
If you're comparing yourself to a race, there you've got something worse wrong with you. Like maybe not all of those hormones are firing off all those receptors properly. I don't know, something like that. Transmission.
It won't fly. What if that? Trans exclusive nights won't fly.
Offer them to us every day. We're not any different than the other.
No, you're no different than any other dude. Just saying. You're no different than any other dude. Just because you call yourself something different doesn't mean that you're different. His feelings got different.
Individuals.
Dakota Rose Austin says the controversy at the spa seems to be just
Dakota Rhodes Austin. he couldn't think. He couldn't think of anything that wasn't a wrestler's name. WWE forever, man. Dakota Rhodes Austin. Killing me, dude. You're killing me.
another example of what she says is an increase in anti-trans policies across the country.
As Latinos, as trans, as
As Latinos, are you identifying as Latino now? I just don't know. Dakota Rose Austin, huh? Yes. Oh, it's Rose Austin. I thought it said road. I thought it said roads. Like Randy Rhodes. Sorry. Sorry, Dakota. Name wrong, Mr. Austin. Please don't do suplex me.
queer, as African American, the fear is turned now. If you've weaponized DEI and affirmative action and all these other things.
The voice is killing me. Oh God. Oh. Sorry. The voice is just killing me. Oh no, the voice reminds me of this old black guy in my neighborhood. His voice sounds just like that. And I see the face, it looks like his wife. I'm like, damn it. Sorry. The voice is killing me. Oh God, the voice is killing me.
Weaponized DEI and affirmative action and all these other things that were in benefit of everyone in America, and you weaponized them against us. Now I'm in fear.
Protesters, including Breath, say they plan to continue to picket outside.
Sorry, dude's name is Breath. It's just like, you've got the job. You got the job of newscaster. Nilu, international chef. I cook German, Persian, Chinese, English, American, and Asian. Make you happy. Well, Nilo, you know how you can make me happy. Stop trying to transfer. Nilo, unless you're cooking up a Trans Am. Sorry.
Of the spa until they change their policy, allowing trans customers every night of the month.
A
Every night of the month. Oh my God. Oh, I guess I won't be a cat. I can't afford a shaver. Sorry. These people are just killing me. You know what it is? I just need some more coffee. That's what it is. I just need some more coffee this morning. How about this? We're going to take a short break. No dancing, but you're going to get lots of honey badger. How's that? We'll give you some honey badger this morning. I'm going to grab some more coffee. I'll be back in 2 minutes and 21 seconds.
Baby, morning's here again. So let's do this, sugar, no cream. Wake up slow, take a sip. Shizzy's got 'em losing their grip. News so dumb, what can you do? Laugh it off, let daddy guide you. You know, Papa, don't flinch, don't blink. Ooh, baby, he's sharper than you think. Morning whiz, take it in. Shizzy's got the choir. Oh no, they tried to fight. Now they're howling through the night. They poke, they scratch, they beg, they plead, but Shizzy's dancing while they bleed. Pour it black, keep it light. Shizzy's teasing you right. Morning whiz, taste the show. Sip it slow, let it glow. Trolls are crying, the game is set. Ooh, baby, they ain't seen nothing yet. Now that's a morning sugar. The coffee's hot, the takes are hotter. And Shizzy Daddy, oh, he's just getting started.
Oh, yeah. I wanted something a little chill this morning. Lots of cream and no sugar. Damn, Nanny. Well, the donkeys strike back. Their strategy for stopping Trump is revealed. Oh, well, here's a fun fact. Shakespeare wasn't considered to be all that great in his own time. He was still a successful, popular playwright and poet, but he wasn't recognized as the best. That'd be Christopher Marlowe. Ben Jonson was another top dog of his era. Shakespeare only became Shakespeare posthumously. Okay. His rivals would have found today's adulation of the bard kind of weird. It would be like future historians reviewing our area, then unanimously deciding that Tyler Perry was the cinematic greatest of all time. Forget about The Godfather and Casablanca in the year 2225. English classes will be reciting the collective works of Medea. That's the trouble with being waist deep in historical arc. Your perspective is always warped. If you know your history, you know where we've already been. And if you follow the news, you know where we'd like to go. But everything else is an educated guess, which is why we never reach a consensus. And besides, the political industrial complex is $1 trillion industry, way too much money in a nip and tuck 50-50 partisan divide, with both parties desperate for that game-winning edge. Keeps donors on both sides engaged. Cha-ching. But over the short term, we don't need the power of prophecy to predict what the Democrats will do next. The Donkey Party isn't managed by a CEO like Trump, who opportunistically pursues ideas ranging from the takeover of Canada to turning Gaza into the Riviera. That's kind of hard to predict. Instead, the Democrats are rudderless ship at sea. They're not setting a course and following it, but careening and crashing with MAGA's mighty wake. The donkeys need money and provisions, or they'll starve. And the best way to attract money is with new captain and a new mission. Thus, we always predict their next move. It's simply game theory 101. The Democrats telegraph their tactics through the media, and if I were in their shoes, I would too. Their cozy relationship with the mainstream media has given the left an institutional advantage for a very long time, whereas conservatives had to fight and scrap for coverage on just pages 6 and 7 of the newspaper. The liberals' agenda was proudly promoted on the front page of the New York Times and above the fold, too. The upside of their strategy is that they're economically efficient. You don't need to pay to get your message out if the mainstream media does it for free. And, you know, it's hard to argue with free. But this strategy also has a liability. If you understand their PR tactics, you can reverse engineer their strategy and then take steps to defeat it. Until about 12 days ago, the Democrats had no strategy. They were just lost. But over the last week or so, for the very first time since the election, a Democrat strategy has emerged. For starters, the Democrats will be auditioning a new leader every month. Right now, their candidate du jour is Senator Chris Murphy. The tip-off is when friendly media outlets, including NBC, the New York Times, suddenly churn out over-the-top puff pieces, and other outlets such as The Hill are opening hard news stories with sentences liberals love. Senator Chris Murphy, Connecticut, who's emerged as one of his party's loudest critics of the Trump administration. That's how trial balloons work, and when Murphy flops, they'll audition someone else. The second part of the Democrats' strategy is to get far more aggressive. This means a government shutdown is 100% coming and everything's about to get blown to smithereens. It's the only way the Democrats can keep the money rolling in. We have new polling data to review, and the numbers tell a very clear story. 31% of voters support the Dems cooperating with Trump when he's right, but resist when he's wrong. And 30% want the Democrats to completely resist Trump and stop his agenda, along with another 30% who want the Democrats to work with Trump. It's basically a third in each category, which means the resist force will prevail. Why? Because there's no money in cooperation. That's not a strategy you can sell to your left-wing donors. Please give us millions of dollars so we can help Donald Trump, but only a little bit. You can tell that the resistance wing of the Democrat Party is winning via the language from the mainstream media. Just yesterday, how did Political frame the Democrats' political options on a government shutdown? Well, take a look. See, surrendering would be cowardly. Shutting down the government is their only choice. Pouring through the polling data, we can expect to see the attacks on Elon Musk escalate. The Dems think they've got something here, and they might be right. Since the election, Musk's favorability has dropped 14 points with independents and now is underwater. Musk has served as Doge's tip of the spear, but there's a reason why tips of the spear don't last very long. They're targeted by the opposition and destroyed. The polling company offered its take on how Democrats should counter Trump. Critiques of Trump on tangible measures, namely on his threats to Social Security and Medicare and rising food prices, outperformed broad democracy-related attacks. A message about the chaos of Trump's first month also performs well. The most frequently selected anti-Trump message is Donald Trump and Republicans in Congress are already considering cuts to Social Security and Medicare to pay for the tax cuts for billionaires. Following closely by messaging highlighting the chaos and confusion thus far, 55%, Trump's failures on food prices, 53%. Strategy is clearly emerging. The Democrats are going to dive deep into the class warfare waters, tie with the GOP to evil billionaires, that dastardly Elon Musk, and accuse Republicans of destroying the country and spiking inflation just to give the oligarchs more money. But we won't see the Democrats attacking Trump on border or immigration. By their own polling data, and make no mistake, this is a pro-Democrat company. Trump is +10 and +9 on border security and immigration, but he's -9 on healthcare and inflation. That's weakness the Democrats will target. They also revamp their messaging, so watch out for those not-so-subtle audition of new phrases and slogans. Confusion about Democrats' priority remains a large barrier. 65% of voters agree that Democrats have lost their way. In their opposition to Trump, voters seek a party that returns to working-class basics and stands up for Social Security, Medicare, reproductive freedom, workers' rights, and an economy that works for ordinary people. The poll shows Democrats need a sharper definition of what they stand for and back to basics economic message to recapture disaffected voters. So that's the Democrats' playbook. The GOP should prepare accordingly. Al Gore got censored after his during Trump's speech. Yeah, that should have happened. That was ridiculous. That was absolutely ridiculous. But we've got more of the diversity and equity and inclusion stories right here to tell you all about it. It is the DEI Death Watch Party, Volumes 8. Yeah, threading the needle. Oh, good morning. It seems many of the corporations that have ostensibly craved to Trump's efforts to restore the basic American and classic liberal principle of individual merit over group identity have been quietly playing a double game, what NBC News delicately reports as threading the needle. Several U.S. retailers have publicly scrapped diversity, equity, inclusion programs, including Target, Amazon, and Tractor Supply, are maintaining certain efforts behind the scenes. The three retailers, while they've ended their programs on paper, have told advocacy groups and individuals they will continue to offer financial support for some of the little gay and racial justice events, as well as provide international support for resource groups for underrepresented employees. Companies are trying to thread the needle, stay true to corporate values, satisfy various stakeholders, but reduce legal risk. An employer for law partner Ed Gibson Dunn, who advises corporate clients on their diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. The only way these corporations are likely going to be made to yield to the terms of truly abandoning this BS is by getting the bejesus suit out of them for discrimination. And as I've noted before, the true test of whether these amoral multinational corporations are truly committed to ending their racist and discriminatory social justice engineering projects will come this June when Pride Month rolls out, and or the next time a junkie of color ODs in the street and the corporate state media blames a white cop in order to foment a race war. Tractor Supply, which sells home and garden supplies and clothing to farmers and ranchers, in June ended the DEI program it had aimed to help out people of color in management roles and boost funding to education programs for Black Americans. It also ceased gathering data on its workforce for the Human Rights Campaign annual corporate equality index, a benchmarking tool that rates American businesses on their treatment of gay workers and customers. A Tractor Supply spokesperson told Reuters it remained steadfast in its purposeful decision to remove perceived political and social agendas from its businesses. Thank you very much, Levy. I appreciate you. That's wonderful. A Tractor Supply spokesperson told Reuters it remains steadfast. Yeah. But Kenya Robinson, the contractor who led the data collection at Tractor Supply, told Reuters the retailer offered to keep her on an unidentified role that would be as closely aligned as possible to the DEI work she had been doing. This is how quickly these people are willing to bite the hand that feeds. Tractor Supply paid this person, probably handsomely, for years to conduct her nonsense diversity data collection study to appease the arsonist and so-called Human Rights Campaign, instead of showing a modicum of gratitude for all the cash she raked in for her quasi-work the second they offered to keep her on doing basically the same thing, but with slightly less ostentatious veneer to avoid getting sued into oblivion on her account. She turns on them and then complains to the press that she doesn't want to work for an organization that hides her. What Goldman Sachs drops an entire DEI section from annual report. Goldman Sachs dropped the entire section dedicated to diversity and inclusion from its annual filing on Thursday, as Wall Street firms dialed back their diversity initiatives after Donald Trump took charge. We made certain adjustments to reflect developments in the law in the U.S. Banks previously set 5-year aspirational hiring representation goals are set to expire this year. Goldman Sachs, like many of its peers, has been a major sponsor of the annual sodomy festivals that have taken over every American downtown every summer for over a decade now. As with all of these mega corporations, again, a very real litmus test for its newfound commitment to normalcy is going to be whether it ditches its ornate transvestite shrines come June. Amazing, huh? You just dropped that script in top chat. Snurk this. Snorts. Yep. Okay, I'm not awake yet. That's good. I'm glad you're not awake yet. Because if you were awake, you would hear about the 5 Ukrainian fables. 5 Ukrainian fables. Fable 1, Trump is appeasing Russia. Who wiped out the Warner Group in Syria? Who sold offensive weapons to Ukraine first? Who warned Germany not to become dependent on Russian Nord Stream 2 deal? Who withdraw from an unfair missile deal with the Russians? Who cajoled and berated NATO members to meet their military investment promises made following the 2014 invasion of Ukraine? In contrast, who originally conceived a Russian reset in 2009, who publicly virtue signaled pushing the red reset button on Geneva, and the current Russian minister, Sergei Lavrov, which ex-European leader got millions of euros a year working for the energy companies of the last 4 presidents. Whose watch did Putin not invade another country? Which president in a hot mic cycle offered to and dismantled U.S.-European missile defense plans in exchange for a temporary Putin quitted space to aid his 2012 reelection? Well, Fable 2, a trade war. Donald Trump is not wildly slapping tariffs on Europeans. He's simply saying that 1945 is now 80 years past and that the asymmetrical tariffs that Europe imposes on U.S. imports should be corrected. The massive trade surpluses Europe accumulates each year should give way to more fair, more balanced trade. If Europe doesn't want tariffs, they simply calibrate its own tariffs on what America places on European imported goods and work down jointly to zero tariffs on both sides. Fable 3, America is bullying Europe. The U.S. does not actively interfere in European elections and politics. In 24, Europeans, especially the British laborites, bragged about sending over campaign volunteers to work against Trump and earlier his conservative predecessors. British subject Christopher Steele sought to sabotage an entire American 2016 election with falsified dossier. The Ukrainian ambassador in 2016 wrote an op-ed all but endorsing Hillary Clinton and trashing her opponent. In September of 2024, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky was flown in on a Biden-provided U.S. military jet to Scranton, Pennsylvania, at a pivotal time in the most pivotal swing state to surround himself with Democrat politicos. His media-frenzied presence signaled the partisan campaign team that a camel-toe Harris win at the continuance of massive Democrat aid to Ukraine would ensure manufacturing jobs such as the artillery shell factory he was selected to visit. As to NATO, Trump's pressure from 17 to 21 finally pushed more NATO nations to rearm, but even 11 years after promising to invest a mere 2% in GDP in defense, 9 of the 32 members still have not complied. Negotiating with Putin is out. Is selling out. That was fable number 4. A long history of Western diplomacy with mass-murdering tyrants. Putin doesn't even rank among the worst. Just ask his former reset partners Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. FDR fueled mass deleting Uncle Joe, Stalin's Red Army, as a way to defeat Nazi Germany. Richard Nixon flattered and cajoled the greatest mass murder in history. Mao Zedong triangulate China against the Soviet Union. Ronald Reagan offered to share missile defense expertise with the Soviet Russia. Europeans have hosted almost every Palestinian murderous terrorist leader as a way of either deflecting terrorism from their own shores or emphasizing their general loathing of Israel. Fable number 5. Europe is going to save Ukraine. Europe rushed to congratulate and celebrate with Zelensky after his pre-planned White House blow-up. They are loudly announcing that a supposedly isolationist and appeasing U.S., which has sent more aid to Ukraine than all nearby European nations combined, will now be supplanted by a new muscular and rearmed Europe. And we sincerely hope so. On every recent international moral question, ganging up on a lone Israel to appease terrorist forces in the Middle East, standing up to China's mercantilism, neo-imperialism, and domestic oppression of minorities, or Russia's prior 2008-2014 invasions, European outrage had been muted. Real consequences were non-existent. Now we're witnessing European heads of state sending the same old virtue signaling support for brave Zelensky, who supposedly spoke truth to power to the mean old U.S. orange man. But where does such a performance art lead after the cult hero Zelensky has gnawed on the hand that gorged him? To multitudes of European tanks, skies full of European jets, and division after division of crack European infantry now headed to back up Ukraine, led on horseback by its new Joan of Arc, Ursula von der Leyen. Aside from all the present posturing and mock heroics, the only way to save Ukraine is for the U.S. President Donald Trump to reflect joint Ukrainian, American, and European interests on stopping the war, forcing Putin as far back eastward as possible, where he started in 2022, and creating a credible deterrent along with the DMZ industrial corridor tripwire to stop another 2008-14 or 2022 invasion. Anything else is empty carnival barking. Wes in Bama, the old Vulcan proverb, only Nixon could go to China. Spock. God. Thank you, Wes. Good to see you, man. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. Tonight is going to be a little crazy, a little bit crazy. We've got a new document drop that came in, and I'll probably be reading over that bit tonight. I've got a crazy week scheduled for myself, so we'll see how that works out. Dan Aykroyd's character in Tommy Boy was Zelensky. We're living in a simulation. I'm telling you, feels like it, doesn't it? And that brings me to something I wanted to show you. This might have already been removed. We'll see. Now, I don't know if this is true. So what I'm about to show you is something that I got off of the Twitter. It was provided by at my Lord Bebo. Don't know if it's true. This could be complete BS. So I'm just gonna say that I cannot verify this. This isn't true. This is just to give you an idea how some people believe, some people think. Doesn't mean it's everybody's beliefs. So here you go. You've got the little ticker happening there, and I'm going to share this with you guys. It's sort of heartbreaking. There you go.
Ой, за вас, пидоров, блядь. Дохнут люди, сука, вам похуй на все. Нахуй вам никому никто ничего не нужен. Вы, сука, охуели, сука, все зарплаты поподымали, да еще какую-то хуйню с военных премий поснимали, сука. Ой, вы пидорасы, сука, вот молитесь Бог, что я сдох, нахуй. Я же ваш пидорас завалим, нахуй. Я не один такой, блядь. Я не один такой. Вот, блядь. Я же, сука, за вас, пидоров, не за друга потерял, блядь. Сука, сам чудом живой остался, я не знаю как. Вы, сука, пидоры, что вы с нами делаете, сука, а? Вам, сука, не хватает чего-то, блядь. Тут пенсионерам жрать нехуй, вы, сука, сажались уже нахуй в края свои пиздатые, сука. Ох вы, пидорасы, сука, ох вы, сука, запустили на страну, это ебучую, сука. Все мало, сука, мало, блядь, пидоры ебучие, сука. Сколько, блядь, это может терпеть, вы, сука, уже заебали нахуй всех, нахуй. Ты шо, пидорасины? То они, блядь, хотят льготы, сука, снять, блядь. То вы хотите, блядь, срочников сейчас наебать. Молодые пацаны, блядь, не успели прийти домой, сука, и опять на войну, нахуй. Дохли, сука, за ваших детей, блядь. За вас, пидорасов, сука. То, что вы, сука, договориться не можете поделить те миллионы ебучие, сука. Да вы охуели, нахуй. Надо тупо переворот это в ебучей стране делать, там. Гнать, нахуй, этих 450 человек, сколько у вас там есть, блядь. Начиная, сука, с Зеленского, заканчивая хуй знает кем, блядь. Участковым, блядь. Ой, вы, сука, пидоры. Ой, вы за все ответите. Я бы, сука, блядь, буду, блядь. Ой, вы, сука, за все ответите, блядь. Ох, вы, сука. Что вы делаете с народом? Что вы, сука, делаете с народом? Вы, пидорасы ебучие, сука. Вам бабкам, сука, мало или шо, блядь? Пиздуйте на шахту работать, сука. Гандоны ебаные, сука, привыкли, сука, воровать, блядь, убивать, нахуй. И все хуйню деньги зарабатывать, сука. Народ сейчас дурить, сука. Ой, сука, гандоны, сука. Ой, блядь, ебать. Давай, сука, продолжай, пидоры ебаные, сука. Продолжайте, сука. Посмотрим, чем это закончится. Хулаки ебучие.
I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not, but I wanted to show it because just watching a guy like cry like a big baby is sort of funny to me in a weird sort of way. JF says, wait, want a sticker? 2 stickers, please. Well, 2 stickers for J-Hip. J-Hip, you've been killing it, brother. Having some fun at the expense of all the haters. I love it, brother. You definitely deserve 2 stickers. Keep up the good work, man. Keep up the good work. It is fun watching your stuff. Guys haven't subscribed to J-Hip. Show him some love, man. Show him some love. He is having all the fun that YouTube is supposed to be about. Thank you, J-Hip. I appreciate you, brother. You got 2. Okay, now I want to swear in Ukrainian. Yeah, now I know how to swear in Ukrainian. I know, isn't it awesome? Like, that's all. I saw that this morning. I was like, oh, this is too funny. It's not as bad as this one here, which the music might get me in trouble. The music might get me in trouble because it says there are dark ads, and there are dark ads. You want to see a really dark ad? Now, this is a dark ad. There are dark ads, and then there's this ad. Check this out. Bone versus steel, you don't stand a chance. Cross at the intersections. Sorry. I saw that this morning. I was like, oh, that's so perfect. The last thing you're expecting. Oh my God. Oh. Yikes. Holy hell. Why do I find this kind of stuff so dark? Now, this is something that's a little dark also, but sort of sad in a way. This, I must find it. Oh, I'll tell you what, I'll do a nice little nice little repost of that one there. That way you can sort of maybe figure it out. I'll repost it. There we go. Reposted that. That was pretty damn awesome. But we do have an ending of an era, and let's see, copy that. And the ending of this era is pretty pretty dark. There we go. But it has to be shown. It has to be shown. So here is an ending of an era. Darn shit, Norwegian. Now you can swear in Norwegian too. There you go. Drit. All right. So this is something that came good. I haven't had an appetite. I haven't eaten since 2 p.m. Thursday. Ooh, sorry. Here we go. So let's add this. This right here is the creator for The Simpsons.
I'm Rick Palizzi. We are out here today because the treehouse that I built with a carpenter friend 24 years ago is coming down. The city has started a criminal trial on it, and that trial is on Wednesday, and the city is going to make me pay for court costs, and it's just kind of being a bully. And so I'm taking it down. We're paying for it to get taken down, so they dismiss the charges. I do not want to go to court on Wednesday, so that's why this is all coming down. Been a lot of people, and that's been great to hear how many people it affected. And we're here at Halloween. We did a big Halloween display called Boney Island, and everybody's been coming by, grown-up people saying, I was here when I was 12 and 13, and that's nice to hear. And you have fond memories of the treehouse, and I'm thrilled to hear that. I'm glad they got to experience it. You know, when I moved in, I just saw these 3 trees in a triangle, and I thought we could build something cool in it maybe. And we started a platform and just kept going up till we ran out of tree basically. And it was a nice hangout, and we always let people go in it. We were never stingy about it. If we were out here, come see the treehouse, you'll get a kick out of it. So we were always open with it. Same with Halloween. It was free, family friendly.
Well,
I just wanted everybody to get together. I like community events, and I thought it brought people together. We didn't know a lot of neighbors. People keep to themselves, it seems like, in some of these communities. And so I did it so we could meet neighbors and hang out and have fun. And we made tons of friends. So much goodwill. I would not change a thing. I would do it again in a second.
Oh, end of an era. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goes the treehouse. Treehouse is over and is no more. Good morning, Betsy. Good morning. Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that one was sort of sad. But nothing is no, I don't know if I can show that, but I'm going to try. Nope, I can't show that. It's got music. Doggone it. Well, this one is well, the litigious nut job is running your local government. Yeah. Well, it's just people. People in general just don't like seeing other people have a good time. And it's, you know, it's sort of like it's sort of like this next story. SpaceX Starship test flight number 8 went half kablooey. The race to a radically reduced launch costs have paved the way to Mars and back to the moon with the world's most powerful and fully reusable rocket. Took one more small step forward yesterday with the Starship's 8th flight test, but only a small step, sad to say. So the flight test was planned almost identical to January's flight test number 7, Super Heavy 15, the booster first stage, would launch Ship 34 Block 2 into near orbital velocity before returning to Earth, conducting boost back and landing burns and being caught in the steel arms of the Mechaliza launched catch tower. The ship would hot boost fire its engines while Super Heavy's engines were still burning into orbital velocity, conducting a test deployment of mock-up Starlink satellites, and then perform a controlled water landing in the Indian Ocean before completing an orbit. There were some other things along the way, like repeat of test flight 6's re-vacuum relight of one of ship's 33 engines, and the first part went seriously well. And another thing, quick word on SpaceX, sometimes confusing nomenclature. Starship can refer to the entire stack Super Heavy booster plus the upper stage deep space vehicle, both fully reusable, or just the upper stage for clarity. I'll try to remember to refer to upper stage as ship, which SpaceX increasingly does, and use Starship only for the whole thing, but sometimes I might forget. And watch the catch.
What an incredible sight to see the Super Heavy booster gliding down into the chopstick arms once again.
Crazy, huh?
Stuck the landing.
Wow.
That's so wicked. I just got to say that's so damn wicked. But even more impressive when you remember the booster had twice the power of the Saturn V rocket that sent Apollo missions to Luna and stands 230 feet tall. With all the ease of a practice sports shop, SpaceX caught a flying 20-story building spewing burning rocket fuel from 3 of its 33 engines. That's never going to get old. And another thing, Super Heavy didn't come down precisely into Maxilla's chopsticks, but the computer-controlled arms automatically compensated to make their third flawless catch in the last 4 attempts. A previous attempt was waved off due to minor tower damage caused by Starship's engines during launch. A lesson learned. Mechazilla performed expertly. That's 2 Super Heavy boosters in a row that launched nominally and returned to Earth in Mechazilla's tender embrace. Whatever the team is doing with Super Heavy, it's by far the most powerful rocket to ever fly. Even without reusability, they're doing it right. But Ship Block 2 has flown twice now since, and both times have achieved rapid, unscheduled disassembly, aka kablooey, instead of completing its flight test. Still, the video is impressive.
What?
There. Boom.
Oh my God.
I just saw that Starship blew up. There it is.
It's raining fire. Luckily, there was nobody on that. Well, our team began coordination with the safety officials to implement pre-planned contingency responses. SpaceX posted to X. We will review the data from today's flight test to better understand root causes. As always, success comes from what we learn in today's flight. Will offer additional lessons to improve Starship's reliability. The real shame of Starship not completing its flight to the Indian Ocean might be the shielding test that didn't happen, the data that wasn't collected. To achieve full and rapid reusability from the ship, SpaceX needs to understand much more about the ship's heat tiles and reentry wear and tear. No worries, though. Failures are expected in SpaceX hardware-rich testing environment. SpaceX, an increasingly Blue Origin, does share the do it once, do it right mindset of older space firms. Rapid testing, rapid data collection, rapid iteration, followed by rapidly by the next test is the name of the game now. The Starship team is now on the rapid data collection phase. It won't be long until test flight 9 gives them much more data to collect. Still, I badly want to see Ship 34 complete its mission. I want a piece of that wreckage. Yes, I'm with you on that. That would be pretty awesome. Oh my. I've got to show you this because it's absolutely the most cringy thing ever. Ousted director Francis Collins demands Americans pay utmost respect to the NIH, and Dr. Francis Collins, best known perhaps for his cringe children's sing-along propaganda ditties designed to induce maximum compliance with the COOF loop-down masking, has abruptly retired after being stripped of his directorship by HH boss RFK Jr. So let's see what, have you ever seen Dr. Francis Collins and Diane Baker? It reminds me of like those 1970 cult things, 80s, 70s. It's just really weird.
Poof, coronavirus came from overseas, infecting folks across the land, Seattle, NYC. A little bat's virus, love those human cells. Next thing you know, the cases grow and the world has gone to, it's a family show.
Yeah. The ultra creep, who might be noted, did not receive a pardon from Biden like Fauci did on his way out, and is therefore still on the hook for all of his COOF criminality, plus whatever else he was up to at the NIH. Expressed no contrition for his role in arguably the greatest criminal conspiracy in world history. On the contrary, he offered nothing but effusive praise for the public health bureaucracy in his resignation letter. And yeah, puff, puff, pass, exactly. Yesterday, I notified NIH Director Matt Mamoli, don't have a name like Mamoli and work at any place, MD, of my retirement from the federal government effective February 28, 2025. The NIH is the world's foremost medical research institution, has been rightfully called the crown jewel of the federal government for decades. It's been the greatest honor of my life to be part of this institution at various roles over the past 4 decades. In the 80s, NIH supported my work at the University of Michigan through peer-reviewed grant. That led to the identification of the gene for cystic fibrosis. 30 years later, you still haven't cured it. It has led to almost miraculous treatment and allows most kids with cystic fibrosis to look forward to an almost normal lifespan. But you still haven't stopped it. And how much does that cost taxpayers? That would be awesome, wouldn't it? Here he is demanding with extraordinary hubris that the Americans pay the utmost respect and support to NIH for all of its benevolence. NIH is the largest supporter of biomedical research in the world and the main piston of a biomedical discovery engine that's envy of the globe. Yet it is not a household name. It should be. NIH supports everything from basic science to clinical trials, providing the foundation of many breakthroughs. When you hear about the patients surviving stage 4 cancer because of immunotherapy, that was based on NIH researches over many decades. The only problem is they tend to have to pay out the wazoo for those kinds of treatments. No thanks to the NIH. When you hear about sickle cell disease being cured because of CRISPR gene editing that was built on many years of research supported by NIH, it was also been the largest supporter of global health research in the world, winning us many friends and colleagues from across the globe and making a lot of damn money. I will continue to devote my life another way in seeking knowledge and enhancing health and healing disease and reducing suffering and doing what I can to bring together fractured communities that shared value of love, truth, and goodness and faith. As I depart NIH, I want to express my gratitude and love for the men and women with whom I've worked side by side for so many years. They were individuals of extraordinary intellect and integrity, selfless and hardworking, generous and compassionate. They personify excellence in every way, and they deserve the utmost respect and support of all Americans. Yeah. Yeah, crazy, huh? Yeah, I agree with you, though, Levy. Can we put him on the next rocket ship, please? Oh, boy. And it's getting closer to the end of this one right here. All the laws. Hakeem Jeffries says Trump is losing because Project 2025 or something. The more I see of House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, sounds like what I do early in the morning, the more I'm convinced that Nancy Pelosi put him in place to make the end phase of her tenure atop the House Democrats look brilliant by comparison. Granny Boxwan was one of the most powerful House speakers in American history. A lesser politician would have been out on his ear after the shellacking that the Democrats took in the 2010 midterm. She not only survived and remained a minority leader, but hung around long enough to become speaker again. True, she was helped by the fact that we let members of Congress stay in office until they dropped dead during the floor speech, but she's also a political force who few in the Democrat Party are willing to go against. And even now, she's just a congresswoman. She did that kind of limp towards the finish line at the end of her second stint as speaker, though. There was never any doubt that she would handpick her successor, and she needed one who would make Democrats miss her being in charge. Hakeem Jeffries is a mediocrity at its mediocrity, and at the time of this political exile for the Democrats, the party is in dire need of rebranding and better messaging. Forget fresh policy ideas. The Dems haven't had any of those for decades. How's he doing so far? Well, here's something that Matt Vespa shared on a post in Town Hall earlier this week.
Just got back to the Capitol. Another day, another lie from these people who are out of control. I'm told that Donald Trump, Mike Johnson, and the extreme MAGA Republicans are claiming that Democrats are sending paid protesters.
Whoever is their cameraman needs to stop with the back and forth stuff. This is horrible. This is a horrible idea. It's just, why are you walking back and forth while you're filming this? Just crazy.
Into their town hall meetings. What's wrong with y'all? What's wrong with y'all? We don't need to send paid protesters into your town hall meetings. The American people are with us all across the country. People are rising up to push back against the assault on the economy, the assault on hard-working families.
I like salt. Salt's good for you.
On our democracy.
I like
and the
salt.
Assault on Medicaid.
What's wrong with salt?
Paid protesters, bro. The American people are with us.
No, they're not. He's standing there alone to assure that everyone, the American people, are with the Democrats. Powerful stuff. Stay tuned for Jeffrey's next video, which features him lifting a bag of peeps while saying we're stronger than ever before. By the way, Democrats always use paid protesters, and I have plenty of firsthand experience in this. There are no organic grassroots political rallies or protests on the left. If the Dems don't have big labor to provide transportation and food, they'll never have anyone show up. Now, riots are a different thing. Whenever there's a possibility of looting a television, the lefties are eager to be there. But we saw how those kinds of things went in Atlanta and Pennsylvania and almost every state that the Dems were at. It was a music concert. Every single one of their town hall meetings or something that they called them, it was they had to have paid actors, actresses, dancers, singers, rap artists, whatever, to come just to bring a crowd. And those crowds were small even then. Like, I think everybody sort of saw through it. They weren't interested in any of it. They said no. Yes, that's right. Yoda's mama says, Yamaha, the Dems are a dread show. Yes. Is that jail he's standing in front of? Oh, it looks like Democrat Party group. Oh no, that would be Congress, I do believe. Let's move on from today's main topic. I've used a separate phrase, alternate universe, more since January 20th in my lifetime as a science fiction fan before that day. All of the references to Democrats, I don't know what reality they're living in, but it's not real reality. It would appear that they don't have any plans to visit this one in the immediate future. When I saw this on Thursday morning, I doubled and triple checked to make sure it wasn't a deep fake.
This flood the zone strategy, understand clearly. The flood the zone strategy is designed to disorient people. I ain't gonna be disoriented. Not going to be disoriented by it all. We have to push back with righteous indignation. But this whole flood the zone strategy is designed to create the appearance of inevitability. The notion that Donald Trump is unstoppable. He ain't unstoppable. Not a single bill connected to Trump's Project 2025 agenda has passed the House.
Huh? But he looks like a tool. Yeah, he is a tool.
Because there's
because there was no Project 2025 involved. Amazing how that works, isn't it? Like, that was something that the Democrats made up.
unified Democratic opposition. Not a single bill.
Because none has been brought
We're almost halfway through the first 100 days. He doesn't have a single legislative accomplishment, but we're supposed to believe it's all inevitable, he's invincible, it's unstoppable. Show me the evidence.
I think
Hold on. In the courts, Donald Trump is not winning.
No, he's winning.
He's losing.
Oh, okay.
In case after case after case, more than 100 different cases have been filed against 35 or 40 different unlawful and unconstitutional executive orders. He's either winning or he's losing. What do the facts say? He's losing case after case after case by judges appointed by Democratic presidents and Republican presidents like Reagan, Bush, and Trump himself. As a matter of fact, there have been 2 cases now to go to the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
Not 0, not 1,
Yeah,
2.
exactly.
And Donald Trump has lost both cases. One related to USAID and the other related to the Office of Special Counsel.
Well, and the USAID got turned over by an appeals court. That one got shut down. They said that what the court was trying to do was wrong.
Why is that Office of Special Counsel case important? Because that actually relates to the firing of the probationary employees, many of whom are veterans. That's disgusting what they're doing. He's being stopped in the Congress, stopped in the courts, and stopped in terms of community sentiment.
Yeah,
because
of course.
His public.
But see, that's the point. The point is to try to make people believe that what they're saying is true, because the mainstream media generally is going to look at it and say, he's so correct. He's losing. Must be related to BBB.
Approval ratings aren't going up. They're going down.
Yeah.
This dude is not winning anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
But the flood the zone strategy is designed to disorient and to distract. I'm not going to be disoriented.
You're already disoriented. Saying that President Trump isn't winning because none of the 2025 stuff is happening is like saying that the Philadelphia Eagles didn't win the Super Bowl this year because they didn't hit any home runs. As I told my fragging colleague Chris Queen, they're not just moving the goalposts now, they're making the goalposts that don't exist. Project 2025 is only a big deal to the few people at Heritage who wrote it and the Democrats, nobody else. Anywhere. It was one of the many false boogeymen that the Dems tried to use to scare the electorate last year. When I was at Ann Arbor last fall, I went to a big coffeehouse restaurant where several elderly activists were trying to register Democrats and give away lawn signs about stopping Trump's Project 2025. That's how invested in the fiction they were. Looking at this, I'm imagining a Dem strategy meeting where Jeffrey says, what can we move forward with that really didn't work for us last year? Any suggestions? We're probably days away from another outlined astroturfed attempt to portray J.D. Vance as weird. Why not bring Camel Toe in for a cackle or two while you're at it, Hakeem? And our latest all-access episode of Unwoke Kevin, and this one right here, Stephen Cruzier, talked about how Democrats have gotten so pathetic that beating up on them almost isn't fun anymore. Well, almost. If the upper tier of Democrat Party is going to keep acting like a bunch of ignorant rank amateurs, we'll just keep kicking sand in their faces. It's not bullying. It's what they're begging us to do. This guy. Where's that special counsel now? at home? Yeah, dude. Okay. You've been found wanting. Now sit down. Exactly. Hakeem. He's just loves being on the losing streak, but not as much as these cringeworthy people right here. The Dem Congresswoman just released the most cringe video ever. Hey, give me 19 seconds today and I'll change your life. Would you believe that that'll somewhat improve your life? How about give me 19 seconds and I'll make you cringe? With apologies to Maxwell Smart. It can't be easy striving for relevance as members of a political party so far out of the mainstream that they can't even golf clap for a cancer kid getting his presidential Make-A-Wish moment on national TV, or for the widow of a daughter of a slain veteran. When you stand for nothing aside from looting the treasury, any excuse will do, including chemically castrating the children. And opposed to the bad orange man, you've got to figure out ways to distract the American public from your complete moral vacancies. So that's exactly what several congresswomen of the lefty social media influencer tried to do today. For those keeping score at home, the participants include Suli Jessica Wu, Representatives Cortez and Lauren Underwood, and Kathleen Clark, and Judy Chu, and Jasmine Crockett, and Susie Lee. But this, what did they have to do this? But here you go. Don't say I didn't warn you about the cringe factor. Yeah. Yeah, is this not cringy? Uh-huh. Yeah. If there's anything both stupid and attention whoring going on anywhere near Congress, it's a safe bet that Crockett's fingerprints are all over it. Give the lady some small amount of credit, because for the last 19 seconds, you probably forgot all about the various Democrat Congress critters scrolling through their mentions, while the decent, heartened 80% of the country was getting all misty-eyed over the look on DJ Daniels' face when President Donald Trump made him an honorary Secret Service agent. Earlier today, Hakeem Jeffries said the Democrats will keep pushing back against Trump and the Republicans with his righteous indignation that we saw earlier. So is this what we just saw? Because to me, it looked less like righteous indignation, more like several overdressed high school girls who snuck some of mom's white claws before deciding to try and go viral on TikTok. If you're looking for the more appropriate response to that Look at Me Please video, here's a cute clip from David Marmot's 2000 comedy State and Maine, which I'm not going to show because it'll just get me in all kinds of trouble because it's a movie. The only way that moment could be more if Baldwin had emerged from a train wreck instead of a car crash. State and Maine is one of those comedies that could never be made today, in no small part because much of the comedy revolves around keeping the movie production going when Baldwin's character, who likes his girls a little too young, keeps getting into trouble. Not illegally young, mind you, but still icky for any man who still isn't in high school. You couldn't make a State and Maine today because Baldwin, a great actor but miserable human being, carries just too much baggage to enjoy anything new he's in. But I digress. The point I'm trying to make here is that the more our Democrat friends strive for relevance, the less authenticity and sillier they look. There's no way this can go on forever, but do please enjoy the show for as long as it lasts. She's more Tubbs than Crockett. Way too cute an idea to make it look like you're a toddler pooping in a diaper. Oh my God. Oh, but nothing as glorious as this next one right here. Joe Biden's handlers just humiliated him on social media. The most irrelevant former president in history just can't stop embarrassing himself. We haven't heard much from Joe since he left the office, but his social media handlers thought it would be a brilliant idea to post a saccharine International Women's Day message on Saturday, apparently hoping everyone would forget about how he single-handedly sought to destroy women's sports during his disastrous presidency. Like so many of you, I'm celebrating the incredible women in my life today, Joe's handler wrote, presumably while he was enjoying his afternoon ice cream cone. International Women's Day is a time to recognize the achievement of women and girls everywhere and recommit our efforts to advance dignity, opportunity, equality for all. The post concluded by saying, when women and girls succeed, communities, economies, and democracies succeed. The breathtaking hypocrisy in this statement would be laughable if it weren't so insulting to every female athlete who lost scholarships, medals, opportunity thanks to Biden's radical transgender agenda, or injured while competing against a male. This is the same guy who signed an executive order forcing women to compete against biological males in sports and tried to completely rewrite Title IX to accommodate this woke ideology. The Democrat Party has no right to claim they support women. Remember, when the Biden's administration threatened to punish states that dared to protect women's sport, or this year when nearly every House Democrat voted against the Protection of Women and Girls in Sport Act. And then Senate Democrats filibustered the bill. So much more for advancing dignity, opportunity, and equality. The result of Biden's war on women has been predictably disastrous. Female athletes have suffered actual physical injuries competing against biological males. They've lost scholarships they worked their entire lives to earn and watched helplessly as their records were shattered by competitors with obvious biological advances. Thankfully, President Trump is systematically dismantling Biden's anti-woman record. It's sad how Biden's handlers are desperately trying to keep him relevant with embarrassingly tone-deaf social media posts. In fact, the post got so absolutely destroyed in the replies and utter humiliation for a failed president obsessed with his legacy. Richard Money said, democracy, we the people want women's sports and spaces to be for women. We want government waste, fraud, and abuse ended. We want criminals to be punished. We want a secure border. In other words, President Trump has given us what we demand while your party is anti-democratic. Or the real Stephanie DeGaddis said, which women are you referring to? Women, or men who want to pretend to be women and take all women's rights away? Which also said, which women are you referring to? And then also Cindy said, remember when you signed an executive order to allow trans athletes to compete in women's and girls' sports and attempted to rewrite Title IX to allow it and even try to punish states for taking their own steps to combat the issue? Well, everyone else does. Imagine you saying you stand for women's rights while letting men dominate women's sports and nominating men for Women of the Year. And also XXXY athlete says you unequivocally eroded the rights of all women. Please. The contrast couldn't be clearer. Biden posts empty platitudes while hiding in his Delaware basement, desperately hoping Americans will forget how he sacrificed women's rights on the altar of transgender ideology. Meanwhile, Trump is taking real action to protect women's sports and restore sanity to athletic competition. Biden's pathetic attempt at relevancy isn't just failing, it's reminding everyone exactly why he'll go down in history as a president who betrayed American women athletes. Maybe next time his social media team should read the room before posting such obvious propaganda. Joe Biden may be out of office, but his handlers ought to think twice before they just humiliate him again. Yeah, the Dem Party is falling apart. It has been for quite some time. The in-law family line is left, and I'm just keeping quiet and we'll watch the show. Yeah, I know the feeling. I know the feeling. Well, it is that time, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm going to have to end this. But I got to show this one first because this is absolutely hilarious. And then I'm out of here.
Why are you putting on makeup?
I don't know, baby. It makes mommy look prettier.
Well, but I don't think it's working.
Dawson, what is that in your hand?
A cigarette. I'm sorry, Dad. I'll stop smoking.
Dawson, that was another popsicle. I told you no more popsicles. Why do you think a cigarette would be a better answer than a popsicle?
Haha, I'm telling on you. I'm showing this to your mommy. You're going to jail. Put your hands up.
Hey, Mara, how's that apple juice?
Good.
Yeah? It's good?
Fucking good. I shit my pants when I followed it.
What'd you wish for?
I wish for big movie.
Oh my God.
Shitty. That's a little shitty. That's a little shitty.
You made a wish?
Yeah.
What wish?
I wish for a new mommy.
Mary brought that for
for you. Can you say thank you?
I need a book. It's just a baby.
But you still had to say, okay, Mom.
I just a baby.
Just a baby. Just a baby. Ah. Ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful day. I will see you at some time this evening. Until then, have a wonderful day, an hour earlier or later. I lost track of time. I just follow what my clock says, which it doesn't ever sync up with my internal clock. Have a good day and say hello to Mo when you see her. Peace, y'all. Peace.
Bless your heart. I thought I was the only mentally challenged one here.
Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Early morning, rise and shine. Coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy Whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning Whiz is always best. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.
Bacon in the